Tesla may be the face of electric vehicle manufacturing in the world today, but also popular and major competitor is Nikola Motors, the innovative new energy truck maker founded by Trevor Milton. But today, Nikola Motors is embattled with so many challenges at the moment. How can they keep up with Tesla? Let's find out. When Nikola and Vitalik Acquisition Corp closed the merger on June 3rd, the combined company hit nearly $29 billion in value by June 9th, although recently the high was more like $18 billion. Nevertheless, it was a startup fairy tale to rival Tesla's. But then, revelations by forensic financial analyst Hidenburg Research on September 10th claimed Nikola as an intricate fraud, and Nikola's value started tumbling. The Hidenburg Research allegations are extensive. The article is around 15,000 words long, so you might need a couple of cups of coffee handy to get through it all. However, if you are like most of us and can't find the time to stomach the whole thing, then we will help in summarizing the trouble Nikola seems to be in. The Hidenburg Research shows reasons of why they think Nikola is a scam. The first reason asserted that Nikola, contrary to its public claims, does not possess any revolutionary or proprietary technology concerning batteries and hydrogen fuel cells, as illustrated by the fact that it is using GM's under-development Ultium battery system and Hydrotech fuel cell technology for the Badger pickup truck. The second allegation alluded to Nikola's supposed proclivity of employing deliberate deception as modus operandi. Thereafter, on the 11th of September, Citron Research also publicly came out in support of Hidenburg's findings against Nikola. All this sounds convincing until you read it to the end. Here is where you will see Hidenburg's research has a short position on Nikola. This means Hidenburg has sold shares in Nikola that it plans to buy later. In other words, Hidenburg will profit from the value of Nikola's shares falling, because it can then buy them at a lower price to fulfill its pre-organized sale and pocket the difference. Kinda awkward doing that. Now the opinion doesn't sound unbiased. Kinda like how everyone's mom's food tastes awesome to the children. No honest opinion. This is a very common practice in investment circles. Lots of investors short stocks in hopes of buying them at a cheaper price. Lots of investors who held short positions on Tesla stock got burned when the company's value went up, but didn't come back down as they had hoped. Elon Musk made fun of these financial losers by selling some Tesla short stocks on his company's online shop. The jovial intention was very clear from the product description, which ended with the text, "Enjoy exceptional comfort from the closing bell." This was an obvious reference to the alarm on the trading floor when the day ends. If you've been in the tech business for a while, you'll be filled with a tremendous sense of déjà vu. Hidenburg already made the comparison with Theranos, which is the most recent top headline company investigated for fraud by the US Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. But the last few decades are littered with further examples of tech failure and dubious claims uncovered, such as Autonomy Software, ironically named The Honest Company, and Virgin Hyperloop. If you do manage to get some way through the Hidenburg Research article, there appears to be a lot of meats to its claims that merits further investigation. Trevor Milton had a checkered business history, at least as documented in the article, having ran 3 to 6 business ventures before Nikola, 3 of which ended in failure. Nikola, in return, has now retained Kirkland & Ellis's LLP to evaluate legal recourse, and calls Hidenburg an activist short seller whose motivation is to manipulate the market. Milton had promised to counter all the points made, but it's likely that the lawyers have told him to keep quiet while they prepare the case. Even though Hidenburg has selfish reasons of saying what he said, you can't really blame them. Nikola's decision to use GM's battery system was a surprise to all, because Milton had said last year the company was developing its own new chemistry that would be a breakthrough. On a call September 8th conference call, he said that it's a near-term cost decision to use GM's Ultium system, though our next steps will be where I get together with GM and the other battery suppliers and talk about if Nikola's technology could be utilized or implemented to help them drive down the cost as well. So how does one go from having the revolutionary production ideas to paying another company to bring their own ideas to reality? It's like Morpheus telling Neo, "You are the one," only for Neo to catch him telling Trinity the same. I really do not know how they got a bullish sentiment in stock when the announcement of their strategic partnership with General Motors was made. If this was Tesla, Elon Musk would have been chewed and spit it out. I just feel like most people didn't or don't understand the arrangements of that deal. They just hear the partnership between Nikola and a powerhouse such as GM and feel like it's going to be a rock solid, like Jay-Z and Beyoncé's marriage. I am here to help you understand the contract made with GM. To summarize, GM will provide batteries, fuel cells, and other essential components for Nikola's Class 8 electric trucks. Let's take a pause there. How can someone provide something you claim to have? And not just anything, but the essential things you need? That doesn't make sense. That can only mean you didn't have it in the first place. This is why Hidenburg's research carries weight. We move on. The auto giant will also manufacture the company's much anticipated Badger electric pickup truck. So it's no longer Nikola doing the production, but GM now. It's basically GM under the hood with Nikola painted on the body. In return, GM will receive an 11% stake in Nikola worth around $2 billion. It will also receive another $2 billion as compensation for providing services, as well as access to key parts and components, including $700 million in production-related costs. Emphasis on key parts, services, and components. Finally, GM will receive the lion's share of tax credits that will be generated by retailing the Badger truck. On the 8th of September, this deal was announced. So, going through all these, I see why Hidenburg made their claim. I would also do the same. Basically, Nikola is paying GM for the answers to the questions after coming out to tell us that they know how to set the questions. It looks fraudulent in nature. There has been no Nikola vehicle on the road, even for use of testing. Everything regarding Nikola has all been theory, and the investors are starting to notice too, and pull out bit by bit. Nikola Corporation shares this past week have continued to experience epic volatility, fueled by wild price swings as a result of dramatic developments over the past couple of days. The pre-revenue company is currently facing perhaps the most arduous challenge of its corporate existence, resulting in pitched battles between the bulls and the bears, not only on the stock exchange, but also on Twitter and other social media platforms as investors try to justify their individual thesis on what the future holds for Nikola. But I think they should be worried about their CEO and founder being in prison. Because if nothing is provided or created by 2021, Nikola might be sued by investors and Trevor Milton might be spending time in jail. While the situation remains as confusing as ever, Nikola bulls believe that the company is being unfairly targeted by short sellers. On the other end of the spectrum, the company's detractors perceive it as a horrendous reincarnation of the famous Theranos saga. For those who need a refresher, Theranos was the subject of phenomenal interest a couple of years back, as the company claimed to have devised proprietary blood tests, using its bespoke automated devices that required only a fraction of the blood volume required by generic lab testing. The turning point, however, came in 2015 when two medical research professors along with the Wall Street Journal's John Carreyrou raised serious questions regarding the viability of these proprietary blood testing devices. The dramatic expose unleashed a number of lawsuits, as well as punitive measures from the SEC. As the metaphoric curtains dropped at the conclusion of this saga, the high-flying CEO of Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes, lost virtually the entirety of her $4.5 billion fortune. So, does this all sound familiar? Now, let's examine Nikola's case to this backdrop. On the surface, the two companies are very much comparable. Trevor Milton and Elizabeth Holmes share a penchant for expounding the virtues of their companies, incurring personal benefits in the process. Both have somewhat complicated relationships with simple truth, often resorting to hyperbole in order to generate hype. However, their cases differ in one crucial aspect: technology viability. While Theranos was likely peddling a dud product akin to perpetual motion machines littering the shady corners of the internet, Nikola now actually has a viable path towards delivering on its high promises as a result of its much-touted deal with GM. In a crucial caveat, however, GM's proprietary battery and hydrogen fuel cell technology is not yet ready for commercial deployment. Nonetheless, GM's association with Nikola does carry weight, reducing much of the associated skepticism in the process. Of course, key questions persist regarding Nikola's own hype claims of bespoke battery tech and other integral components. To sum this up, while Nikola has much to answer for, it is likely not perpetrated as a Theranos-scale fraud. As far as the way forward for Nikola shareholders is concerned, it will likely involve much toil and pain. The one thing that the markets absolutely abhor is uncertainty. Given Nikola's current strategy of involving the SEC in its feud with Hidenburg Research, and the glacial pace at which this process moves, uncertainty, and loads of it, will be the order of the day for Nikola stock. When coupled with Trevor Milton's erratic tweeting patterns, the company's bulls should brace for wild whipsaw moves and gyrations. Of course, much of this prevailing uncertainty can be resolved if Nikola produces evidence of its Class 8 electric trucks utilizing onboard propulsion. We wouldn't wait for this development with bated breath though. Moreover, all hell will break loose if GM ever decides to step away from Nikola, as this partnership is now the only thing keeping the embattled company from sinking. In the meantime, Nikola bulls may seek solace in the following quote from Baron Rothschild, an 18th century British nobleman and a member of the Rothschild banking family. "The time to buy is when there's blood in the streets." But Nikola is in trouble, and only time will tell if Hidenburg is right or wrong. That's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. Till next time.